Hello, friends. It's Mulk. Welcome to State of Origin Week 2 for 2024 and the fourth episode of the TV Binge Box. I am your host, Mulk, and I'm coming to you from the land of the Dark and Young people. I'd like to pay my respect to their leaders, past and present, and acknowledge that there is so much more that we can do to grow relationships and to develop a reconciliation-y approach, a better approach to how we live together and learn from each other. We live on stolen land. Because sovereignty was never ceded. It is a big night for the TV Binge Box, friends, not least of which because I've got three big shows to talk to you about. There was going to be a fourth, but the previews didn't come through to you, unnamed streaming service, for not making that available. And we're going to talk Logies nominations, which is huge business, and I have many feelings about that. So that possibly could take up all of the time in the TV Binge Box tonight, but who knows? If you want to follow along with this or keep in touch with what's happening, you can get to my link tree. That's linktr.ee/Steve Mulk. That's the best way to find out where I am, what TV Black Box is doing, what's happening with the TV Binge Box, all of those sorts of things. A reminder, friends, that if you would like other people to find out about the TV Binge Box, just take their phone and subscribe in your favorite podcast app on their phone. Or a nicer way to do it is to rate and review, because that helps get the podcast into people's faces, because it's all algorithmical and I'm too cheap to pay for AI to do it for me. Come on, friends, get involved. An early start as a reminder to say that, friends, if you are watching along live, you can comment and I can include, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, hopefully YouTube doesn't die tonight, HBO. You can comment and I can include you in the chat, like Cole Laidlaw, who has rightly pointed out that it is the week of Queenslander being shouted randomly at people in the street, particularly if you're in Melbourne. Do not be afraid. That just means that State of Origin is in town, and you probably should be a little more prepared. Nonetheless, comment along, friends. I would love to know if you've seen some of these, and I suspect that you will, because they're not all super new shows tonight. They've been around for a little bit, a couple of them. So I'd love to hear what you think, and particularly all your thoughts on the Logie nominations. Probably best to save them to when we talk about them, because I don't want them to vanish in the absolute just landslide of comments that I know that we get. Literally tens of people commenting on this show live, which is marvelous, and I appreciate every single one of you, and you might even get a Christmas card if I send Christmas cards. I don't, but who knows what happens with that. Our first show tonight you'll want to get into, because I know that I have lots of feelings about most of these shows, and that's quite right that I should. I have lots of feelings about this first show. Dancing with the Devil, the 7M TikTok cult, is a 3-part documentary available to you in all of its glory in full right now on Netflix. And it speaks of, as you saw in the trailer or heard in the trailer, about, well, it starts talking about the Wilking sisters. Melanie, who is the one right at the start with her parents, lamenting the fact that her sister Miranda has seemingly been sucked into this cult church management company, 7M, run by a gentleman by the name of Robert Shin, who is the pastor of Shekinah Church, who's at the center of the documentary, who also runs 7M. It sounds and looks dodgy as, super dodgy. I apologize up front if I dive into any kind of theological approach or the issues around Christianity and those sorts of things, because I've got some form, I've got some study, and I've got some deep feelings about the way this guy represents and presents what Christianity is about. Spoilers, it is not what he talks about. Now, the interesting thing in this is that it starts with the story of the Wilking sisters really at the front and center of this for episode 1. And I thought it was going to run through the Wilking sisters for the whole of the 2-3 episodes. They do pop up. Miranda does pop up again in episodes 2 and 3, but little itsy witsy bits. It takes a really hard turn to some past members of the church, of Shekinah Church, and their feelings about Robert and the way that they think that they have been poorly treated. I'm not saying that they haven't, but just the way that they feel that they've been poorly treated. And look, the thing that makes this, of course, most interesting is that the Wilking sisters going in weren't just some nobodies, right? They had a huge following on TikTok. They were sort of a part of the early part of dance TikTok and capitalized on it. As well they should. Good on them. Great dancers, magical. But this separation when all of a sudden Miranda trying to get gigs in LA, they didn't live in LA, she moved out there to try and get gigs in LA and gets hooked up and connected with this church and then starts to distance herself from her family and particularly her sister who was her dance partner for a long time. And it all starts to fall apart. Central to this are social media posts because particularly clearly, Miranda and everyone from 7M did not want to be a part of this documentary. So it's a lot of secretly taken footage, and here they posted this on social media, and here is Miranda live streaming something because she's meeting with her family, and yeah, it's horrible and messy, and this is what comes of people who are desperate both for affirmation and fame because it opens them up to an opportunity where they can be manipulated. And that's absolutely what Robert Shin is doing. Not just in what's presented in the documentary, though that's at the core of it. I've done some reading. I've done some research. This guy is dodgy as fuck. He's outrageous. Now, the interesting thing, it starts out with the sisters as a unit. They were a social media maelstrom. There was money falling in their laps, huge interest in their videos and follower count. And then, a boy stepped in, and that's always going to be a part of it. That the man who is called B Dash, who becomes Miranda's husband, Mr. Derek, and it's sort of there that all the wheels sort of fall off a bit. But then it's again, it's all about the thing that I really want to. I think that I resonated with mostly with all of this 3-part series. There is some really incredible dancing, and there is some pretty fucked up theology in this documentary. I acknowledge that people's experience of God and how they understand who they think God is deeply personal. I'm totally fine with that. I am of the opinion through my learning and continuing to grow and learn and having been a person that follows Jesus their entire life, that you have to live in community, be engaged in community to really grow your faith properly. That community has to be open and transparent and absolutely welcoming to your community and engage deeply in your community. And any place that professes to be a church that isn't those things is not a church, friends, frankly. And as you can see from the doco, the big gates, the no one's welcome kind of stuff, that you've got to step away from your family so that you can save them. That is not what Christianity is about. There's a whole other hour conversation we can have about, leave your father and mother and stuff or turn your back on them thing, or what that looks like for the sake of me. Jesus said that not in the context in which Robert Shin is absolutely shoveling it down people's throats. And I just want to put out there as a get-go, take this for what it's worth. God loves you, loves me, loves everybody. And you might not believe in God. You might say, God's not real. Well, hey, cool. Fill your boots. I'm not going to get on your case about that. What I'm going to offer is that anybody that comes to you and professes that God wants only the best for you, that is true. Though there is lots of evidence to suggest that there will be times when God will put you in a position where you will be tested. Now, that doesn't feel like at the time, certainly, like God wants the best for you. Again, another theological diversion. We can lean into that at some other time. If someone comes to you and says that God will bless you with money as an outcome of your relationship, a direct relationship outcome of how you're progressing in your faith with God, no. Some people will be fortunate. Some people will be in a position where they work really hard and they get all of the opportunity and they do fall ass backwards into money or earn cash, and that's great. But what is not going to happen is the closer you are to God, you're going to get more cash, or the more money that you give to people, the more that God is going to give you cash. It's not that simple an equation. That is not how it works. Certainly in my experience, and absolutely in the way that I read and understand the Gospels and the Bible. So, friends, come at me loud and large if you want to disagree with me. That's fine. It's what we see presented by Robert is absolutely something that is designed to ensnare and lure and capture people who are vulnerable because they are wanting fame and they are wanting money and they are wanting to be a part of something bigger. And he feeds that. And that's the insidious nature of cults and people that profess to be people who are engaged in faith conversations and faith journeys when they feed you the stuff that you want to hear and don't actually talk to you about the nature of self growth and self-sacrifice, and that at the heart of the gospel, it is about loving God and loving other people, and loving other people to the point of it being challenging and difficult. And everything that's presented by 7M appears to not be that. So, stepping out of it, look, it's interesting because cults are insidious. They are controlling and they are exclusionary. And we see this play out absolutely in every part of what is happening in Dancing for the Devil, this documentary, both for the two Wilkins sisters, as much for the other players and the people who had experience in that cult. And I'm so sorry that they had that experience, and some still continue to. There is good news, or hopefully some good news, and that is that Robert Shin does go to trial for some of his earthly sins on the 7th of July, 2025. So you can guarantee there'll be at least a single episode follow-up, if not more, in the coming weeks, months, year, whatever. There is a lot of talk at the moment, particularly about the ills of social media and young people and all of those sorts of things. I think that there is, again, a whole other conversation we can have about that. It's something that has been very close to my heart and something that I've professionally spoken on and taught on. And I think, without being a curmudgeon, I think that some of the charity or awareness stuff that's flying around at the moment is unhelpful. There is no simple answer. How do we encourage our young people to be better? How do we encourage them to understand what it is they're engaging in? That's the conversations we should be having, not saying that they can't access social media until they're 16. Bow. That's not going to happen because they'll just find a way around it. I think it's misguided goodwill and good intentions, and that doesn't help. All of that said, this is a fucked up story, and it is gobsmacking to see how easily he gets away with it, and the pain that it causes the families around the people that are involved in it that are left behind or excluded from the lives of the people who are involved. Horrendous. It's a great doco. It's worth watching. Though I felt that the second and third episodes got a bit muddied. They could have stayed a little closer to the Wilkins sisters, but then it probably only would have been one episode. You may disagree. You may think it's crazy. You may think, Mulk, what are you talking about? Tell me what you think. Throw in your comments. And of course, throw them on YouTube if you're watching afterwards, or on the TV Black Box post, because I'd love to know what you thought about Dancing for the Devil, the 7M TikTok cult. Available right now, all 3 episodes in full on Netflix. I mean, take it for what it's worth. Now, after I've delivered all of that, you might go, oh, but Mulk, you're so woke. You've got so much about things where you don't understand and you don't really get how things are in the real world and all of the stuff. Sure. Check this out. Welcome to In the Know, friends. It is an American adult stop-motion animation, political satire, television series developed by Mike Judge of Beavis and Butthead fame and Zach Woods of The Office and Silicon Valley fame, and throw in Brandon Gardner just for some good measure. It's centered around the staff of a fictional NPR program called In the Know, hosted by Zach Woods' character, Lauren Caspian. And it is skewering absolutely everything about a almost a radical left approach to how we live in the 2020s. and it took me a little while to really get it. Like, I watched the first 3 episodes and went, "I don't know that I like this." And I really rate Zach Woods. He's a very funny performer. I loved him in those shows I spoke to you about, and the other times that he's popped up. It was hard going for me, and maybe it was just the day. I don't know. It is because it's based around a radio show, as mentioned in the trailer, they do interviews with actual human, real people. It's scripted, of course, but the rest of the show is animated. But when they interview Hugh Laurie and Mike Tyson and Jonathan Van Ness and everyone else, they're real people. It's a very weird kind of crossover that this is how these two worlds collide and exist together in theory. But it makes for, and look, a very entertaining approach. Let me tell you, one of the funniest jokes that I heard in the series, you might think it's not very good. I thought it was hilarious. It made me laugh. Where Lauren was interviewing Michael Tyson, and he asks if he watches the Great British Bake Off, to which Tyson says no. And Lauren says, "It's good because we need to see unattractive people on television." It just tickled my fancy. It was pretty good. It's very punchy. There is a lot of sections where it is joke, 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 joke. However, a lot of the jokes are at the cost or at the sake of making fun of people trying to be politically correct, or say the right thing, or do the right thing, or not offend anyone, or make sure they're inclusive, or all of those sorts of things. And I think it pushes pretty far into that. And that, of course, is where a whole bunch of the comedy is. But it can make it tough. It is a interesting bar to get over to get into the series. And if you get into it, great. You're in, you'll love it, I'm sure. But if, like me, you found the first 3 episodes a bit hard going, because look, it's quirky and it is funny. I pushed on and watched all 6. There are 6 episodes to this show. But you might go, nah, Mark, first episode, I'm tapping out. And look, that's fair. I should go back and watch probably the first episode again, because I think they do some heavy lifting in setting up the whole scenario. And I did find some moments pretty funny, but I think I'd find more of them funnier now that I understand the show and understand the characters. In the Know does have the ominous tag of being the first original adult animated series on Peacock, which is, in America, NBC's streaming service, which there have been conversations that perhaps that would be what 7 launch in Australia. They're not going to launch this in Australia. 7 aren't going to launch a streaming service. They'd be crazy too. But that's a whole other box of dice. Look, fair time to ask. Clint does ask, how long are episodes for In the Know? Clint, the episodes are about 25-ish minutes. They are designed to be those half-hour moments. It doesn't drag on for long, but it's also not short. So it is 20 minutes of sometimes navigating the A plot and B plot and trying to see where all of it comes together. But I would offer it's worth it. The cast, as I said, Lauren Caspian is played by Zach Woods. Caitlin Reilly plays Fabian, one of his producers. Carl Tart plays Carl, the other of his producers. Jay Smith Cameron plays Barb, the executive producer. Charlie Bushnell plays Chase, who is Lauren's intern. And he's pretty full on. And Mike Judge plays Sandy, who I can't tell you what Sandy does. He's the old weird guy, and he is there to be old and weird. And let me tell you, old and weird. That's what he is. The interviewees do include Kaia, Gerber, Jonathan Van Ness, Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things, Norah Jones, Roxane Gay, Mike Tyson, Hugh Laurie, and heaps more. And they are little bits of gloriousness, because when I first watched it, I thought, oh man, this is like he's doing an interviewing character and just letting them go. And then at one point, oh no, this is very scripted. There are some moments here. And look, there may be some improvisational stuff done, but there's absolutely some scripted moments that take place. And look, full congrats to all of those people involved. They deliver their lines perfectly. So it does play very well in that context. There are 6 episodes for this first season for In the Know, and who knows if there will be more than this one season. In the Know, 6 episodes is available in full right now on BINGE and on Foxtel On Demand because you demanded it. It's interesting, right? The Peacock content has really been landing in Australia, split largely across Stan and Binge. And I mean, I think that's a good thing, but we're also not getting all of it. And I think that's a good thing because I have heard that not all of it is great. But then that's what we face with any streaming service, right? Not all of it is great should be the tagline for every streaming service. Netflix, not all of it is great. Disney Plus, not all of it is great. I mean, make of that what you will, friends. Now, this next one, it's almost become mandatory. We need to just sort of shake off some of the difficulty of the last two. That I must confess that I did tear up more than once watching this incredible documentary. It's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights. This is an incredible documentary from Ron Howard, people. Richie Cunningham Howard. Like one of the most amazing directors of our lifetime. And it's all about a man who brought generosity and creativity and encouraged it in everybody, in everyone that he worked with and everyone that he saw. It's amazing. This is formative stuff of my childhood and hopefully many, childhoods to come. Just those opening moments, right? Jim Henson's voice is iconic because of him and Kermit the Frog, and their near symbiotic relationship is glorious and reflected, of course, in the documentary, but also all of the other work that he's responsible for. I loved The Dark Crystal, and I loved the prequel series that popped up on Amazon, just BT dubs. When I learnt that he created, his Creature Shop, I became just fascinated by the work that they would do and where they would pop up in films. The fact that right at the very beginning, Frank Oz was too young to work with him. He was still a high school student when he wanted to start work with Jim Henson. And when he graduated, obviously got the job. And they went on to have like a creative professional partnership that lasted the rest of Jim's life. And I mean, they're fucking Bert and Ernie, man. Amazing. They're Fozzie and Kermit. And it all started in Jim wanting to be creative and working with his wife and finding an opportunity to get what became a piano playing dog to sell some ads and to get on some Tonight shows. Mate, this is delightful. And for mine, every minute of its hour 48 running time is a love letter to a man who transformed entertainment and education, and not just for children, and yet especially for children. The fact that Sesame Street has its longevity is in no small part to the creativity of Jim Henson and his team, and the fact that they were engaged so deeply in the early years of Sesame Street and the Children's Television Workshop, but that it wasn't his baby, that he was a part of it, but he didn't want to have control over it. The pinball thing, if you've watched Sesame Street, where it fires off the 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can't learn how to count to 12, the Pointer Sisters sing that song. Amazing. When it would come up with a number, 7 or 9 or whatever, it would then go to some short film doing something about that number. We learn in the documentary, it's all Jim. It was Jim's idea for the animation, and then each of those 12 different little short films that came about those numbers, all Jim. And he acted in them sometimes. Like, he wrote them. It was his desire to be creative and to do something different and interesting and obtuse and push boundaries and be more than just the guy with the Muppet, but also to be the guy with the Muppet, which, of course, he and his wife created and coined as this combination of marionettes and puppets. No one had done it before they did. And now Muppetry as a skill and as an art form is everywhere in film and television and entertainment, and it is absolutely stunning. Jim Henson was, and it hurts so deeply to say was a genius, is an icon, and remains a creative hero of mine, that we should all be encouraged to grasp onto our ideas as Jim Henson did. Man, the world would be just that bit kinder and compassionate and a bit more gentle. And I mean, who doesn't want that? Honestly, in the midst of all of the craziness and all of the other stuff that flies around, this is compelling and delightful and heart wrenching. And it doesn't paint Jim to be perfect by any sense of the word. Um, some of the people that are in this incredible documentary, Jim's wife, Jane, and their entire family, including Brian, who now runs all of his empire. Fran Brill, Jennifer Connelly, Dave Goelz, Rita Moreno, Caroll Spinney, and the incredible Frank Oz, just reflecting on their time with Jim and everything that it meant. And it's glorious. And I just cannot recommend it highly enough to you. Find the 2 hours, sit down with a pack of your favorite, whatever, things to eat, whack on Disney Plus and watch Jim Henson Idea Man and reflect for a moment at what this guy did and how it changed all our lives for the better. Phenomenal. Jim Henson Idea Man, an hour 48 running time. It's available in full right now on Disney Plus. Guys, do what the pig says and go and find a Kermie. Oh. See, I nearly couldn't even get through that. I'm a bit surprised, honestly, because like I said, I did tear up a few times in watching it. In part because I have all these fond memories of watching Sesame Street as a kid with my younger siblings, and then getting into the Muppet Show and learning about this guy called Jim Henson who had all these other things that he was doing, and as a teenager that had the opportunity to go and watch like Dark Crystal at the cinema and Labyrinth at the cinema. I'm that old, friends. It happened last millennium. And some of it I didn't understand until I was able to process it much, much later. And now, as a fully grown human adult with 2 young adults as, offspring, I guess I just look at it and go, man, I want to be that kind of guy. I want to be that creative. I want to be engaged and connected to the things that I love, not in a way as certainly Jim did, though that can often be the price of being that kind of creative genius, where it costs you relationships, but rather a little more measured and yet still, hopefully, as impacting. For what it's worth. Oh gosh, so much flying around. Jimmy offered up that for him it looks awesome. Safe to say we all grew up with Jim Henson's work. Yes, and I would hope that many still do continue to grow up with him. Jimmy Clayton offered that Jim changed the world. No question, no question. And in the same way, he's an absolute icon for sure. Clayton, absolutely. Clint was into Fraggle Rock. I think everybody was into some form of some kind of Muppetry. And absolutely, Fraggle Rock was an afternoon staple because of my younger siblings who would tune in and watch it while I had to go and do homework. Boring. Friends, that's our shows for this week's Binge Box. But as I promised, I'm going to have a bit of a rant. We're going to have a conversation. That's what we're doing. We're going to have a conversation about the 2024 Gold Logie nominations. Well, not just the Gold, all of the Logie nominations. So let's get into that. If you would like to throw in your thoughts, you can go to TV Black Box and have a look at the post where I've put up all of the nominations and give us your ideas on who you think should win whatever category, and we can touch on that at the end. I'm going to hit on 5 categories tonight specifically because I think they give me a chance to talk, frankly, but also give us a good indication on where the TV industry in Australia is at, for what it's worth. Let's get into it. The 2024 Logie nominations. Starting with this one, the Gold Logie. Now, for those that can't see, I will certainly tell you in all cases who's who and what's what. But for the Gold Logie, the nominees are Sonia Kruger from the 7 Network, Tony Armstrong from ABC. We've got Andy Lee from, ostensibly Channel 9, maybe, probably, wherever he pops up. Yeah, Channel 9. Robert Irwin from Channel 10. Larry Emder from Channel 7. Julia Morris from Channel 10. And not pictured, Asha Keddy from, look, I'm going to say Prime Video, probably, because that's where she's popped up most this past year. Now, in and of itself, it's not a bad field for gold, except many, many things. I don't know that Robert Irwin deserves to be there. No, deserves is a hard word. I don't know that he should be there. I get Julia. That makes sense. Fine. Larry, Andy, although he's only been on television on one show this year, but sure, fine. Sonia's in flipping everything on Channel 7, and we'll pin that because we'll talk about that. And same with Tony. He's starting to be in more and more in the ABC, and he won Best Newcomer last year or the year before, right? He's only a half step removed from being the new kid on the block, and now he's nominated for the Gold Logie. Now, context. And friends, I'm not here to describe or explain what the Logies are, except to say that they are the Australia's version of the Emmys. So it's our TV awards, and I am 100% behind us celebrating the things that we do well, because we should celebrate the things that we do more and more. That goes without saying, and we should do it unashamedly. And because the Logies are the only thing we have, it's going to be the only thing that we can do, such that it is. Now, the Gold Logie is a popular category, i.e. the general public, you and me, us schmoes, get to vote on who wins the Gold Logie. Now, for the first time in ages, there are only 3 categories that are most popular. This, the Gold Logie, the Bert Newton Award for Most Popular Presenter, and the Graham Kennedy Award for Most Popular New Talent. That's it. They're the only ones we get to vote on. There's no, most popular drama, most popular this. It's all bests. So a panel of industry people are going to get to vote on the other things. Human, actual general public only get to vote on 3. So to put it in context, this pinnacle award, the Gold Logie that everybody raves about and holds up as being sacred, which, look, it is important, there is no question, is a fucking popularity contest from the general public. Not even the industry going, this is good because it is actually good. It's just the general public go, oh, yes, I like Sonia. She's on all the shows I watch. It's a bit snake eating its own tail. Does that make it good? No, it might do, but not necessarily. Does that mean that we're going to get the worthy winner of the Gold Logie? Not necessarily, but friends, that's how it's been ever since it was implemented. The Gold Logie has always been a popularity contest. So it makes sense in part that the nominees should be people that we see regularly. Now, I find it weird that Asha's not in this Gold Logie photo, frankly. But, actors have commitments, as do everybody else. Though I would have thought that given the nature of the Gold Logie, you'd find a way to be available for it. Can't speak to her. She has a busy schedule. The rest of them are just presenters. And I mean that politely, just presenters. They sit in a chair or they stand in a studio and they read a fucking auto cue. Does that make them worthy of Gold Logie winning sort of situations? Yes and no. Yes, because it's all we fucking get in primetime is reality shows and that sort of shit hosted by these people. To be fair, Larry is afternoon lead into the news in The Chase and the morning show, and Tony is both on ABC News Breakfast and also showing on his own series now, very smartly getting his name in the title, Tony Armstrong's Extraordinary Things, as well as Great Australian Stuff. I think he was also responsible for, or presented at least. And now he's hosting Monday's Experts and doing a fine job, by the way. We talked about that last week. Fine, but why aren't there more actors? Why aren't there more people that are giving us, reflecting back to us who we actually are, rather than just going, and now it's time for the bug eating competition? Oh shit, come on. The answer, he answers his own question, friends. The answer is because we just don't have drama in prime time or enough drama or anything popping up close to it. The closest that we would have is Neighbours, which is now being shunted to the afternoon or on Prime Video, and Home and Away, which is early prime time, 7 o'clock, 4.5 nights a week or whatever it is. And mate, there are not many nominees from Neighbours or Home and Away in it, just quietly. I mean, normally we're influxed, flooded by all of those sorts of things, and they didn't get much of a Guernsey. So when it comes to nominating, it's the network's responsibility to do that. And if they're not there, either they didn't push hard enough or they didn't nominate them. And that's fucked, quite frankly, if that's the case. Because while I'm not going to hold up Neighbours or Home and Away as the pinnacle of Australian drama, there are other things. But in a soap opera context, it's giving lots of people work and is doing a lot for the industry. To be absent from this kind of thing just looks to me as like, do you not back it? Do you not think it's a good idea? 7 and 10? I mean, take that for what it's worth. As far as Sonia being involved, I mean, Sonia was always going to be involved because, frankly, 7 are doing their absolute darndest to get her front and center. And it might be one of her last years with 7 to do so, given that her husband has now ingloriously left the news department. Now, I know she worked at 9 for a long time while he was still at 7, and that's all fine. And it was considered quite the coup to get her to 7 while, he was there. Sonia is an absolute professional. Please, this is not a slight on Sonia. It does feel very much like the network are just going, we have to get Sonia out there. We have to get Sonia out there. We have to get Sonia out there. She's already hosting 3 or 4 fucking shows for them. I mean, do we need to get Sonia out? She's Channel 7's Osher Ginsburg. And I mean, that's fine. That's fine. Look, Clint does point out quite rightly, could you combine Julia Morris's performance on Taskmaster Seasons 1 as well as her I'm a Celeb hosting for the Gold Logo nomination? Look, absolutely could. And Taskmaster is a fly in everyone's ointment because it's not true reality, Clint, and yet it involves celebrities in ways that they generally are uncomfortable, which is uncontrolled. So I think that Taskmaster is a great way to show off the talents of people like Julia and, of course, the cast that we're seeing at the moment on Thursday nights and the cast to come, of course. But I don't know if it's enough because, again, here's the challenge. If we're really going to present nominees from the shows and the networks that are actually the most popular, not one person in these pictures. Only Sonia. Sonia would be the only person that does anything that comes close to rating and getting in the popularity stakes of ratings, which is reflected because we watch it. That's how it is. Tony's shows are on the ABC, so they don't rate and they don't care about ratings, but they do good, but they don't compete like The Voice and that sort of stuff. Andy, to his credit, look, is in prime time and it does do really. The 100 with Andy Lee does do well. Maybe we give Andy a pass on this one. Rob and Julia, unfortunately, not enough people watched them this season. A lot tuned in, but, here we go. And Larry is not in anything in prime time, but he is in the biggest show 7 have leading into the news, and it does rate its absolute boots off for the last 10 minutes. So, and Asher's in actual dramas, but they don't rate because they're shunted away onto streaming services and we don't actually get to know what they do. Nonetheless, look, the Gold Logie has had a long history with actually being anyone in the industry can win it. And that's amazing, which is why, as Jimmy points out, people like Bert and Graham Kennedy, Bert Newton, Graham Kennedy, Daryl Summers, Ray Martin and Rove, no last name, McManus, all won the gold before actors did in recent times, I think. Yeah, but there were also a bunch of actors that won it in between all of them. Lisa McCune was the queen of the Gold Logie for a long, long time because she was front and center in Blue Heelers, which ran Tuesday nights 8:30 on Channel 7 for 100 years. Did huge business. But nonetheless, that is what it is. We should talk about, look, that's the Gold Logie, friends. Get in early, vote often. TV Week logieawards.com.au, I think, is where you need to go. The link is in my article on tvblackbox.com.au. Get in and vote. You can vote right up until the start of the Logies themselves, the actual event on Sunday, the 18th of August, which I can reveal that hopefully I will be covering the red carpet event live again because I've applied. I haven't heard yet. I'm hoping to get my media accreditation, but it would be great. I had so much fun doing it last time, and I hope that I get the same chance to do it again. And I hope that you get to enjoy watching me have fun do it again. But, that's the Logies. 18th. Who knows what it's going to be? It's going to be a thing. But anyway, look, Luke Smith raises some really good points right here. Shocked to hear only 3 categories can be voted on. Yeah, welcome to it. Agree with you regarding Rob shouldn't be there. I like Rob, but I don't think he should be a Gold Logie nominee, but that's a Channel 10 thing nonetheless. Shout out to the ABC for so many nominations. Now, it's interesting that you mentioned that, Luke, because that is good news. For the first time in Logie's history, the ABC have scored 51 nominations. Now, they may not walk away with, mate, even a quarter of them, but 50 in some categories, they have 4 talent or 4 shows in a category that's got 6 nominations. You'd be hard pressed to have them not win some of those categories. They will not win some of those categories. Spoilers. But nonetheless, it's going to be a massive night in that regard. Now, one of the other popular categories that we can talk about is the Bert Newton Award for most popular presenter. Now, see, just look very carefully at these people in this picture with the gold logie, staring, looking. Here's the nominees for that. They're the fucking same people. It's a farce. This is a farce, and it shouldn't be, because it is named after one of, independent of all of the rumors and everything else, named after one of Australia's best and most prolific and most successful presenters in Australian television. Why should 5/6 of the fucking presenters in this category be then also listed for the fucking gold logie? Not fucking on. It's bullshit. It makes an absolute joke of the fucking category. The nominees for the Bert Newton Award for Most Popular Presenter are Hamish Blake, Lego Masters Australia 9 Network; Julia Morris, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, Network 10; Larry Emder, The Chase Australia and The Morning Show, 7 Network; Robert Irwin, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, Network 10; Sonia Kruger, Dancing with the Stars, The Voice Australia and Big Brother Australia, 7 Network; and Tony Armstrong, ABC News Breakfast, ABC. You're right, Kyle. Kyle is correct here. They literally just swapped Andy for Hamish. That's all they fucking did. They're on the same fucking network. It's just, this is crazy. Sorry, not crazy. This is bananas. Bananas. There is no way that 5 people in this category should be nominated for. What's the point? It devalues both categories. And I know that I'm talking about the Logies when I say this. So take it for what it's worth, friends. It's probably fair to talk about at this point the other total number. I've got a list. I did the math. I'll try and do it in order if I can. The ABC, 51 nominations. Holy shitballs. Channel 7, 20 nominations. And that, by the way, these all include their Gold Logie nominees. 9 had 16 nominations. Netflix had 11 nominations. See how Netflix scraped into 4th? It's not even a free-to-air network. The 10 network had 10 nominations, including 2 of which are fucking gold logies and 2 of which are the Bert Newton. So take that out, right? That's down to fucking 6. Well done, Channel 10, idiots. Prime Video had 9 nominations. Stan had 7. SBS, 6 nominations total. Foxtel had 4, and they do share one with Channel 10 for Gogglebox, and they also share one with Kaia for a sports situation. Disney Plus had 3 nominations, and Paramount Plus had 1. And it shouldn't even have that one. But that's, again, all views are mulks, and that's what it is. Yeah, Michael's asking a really good question. So at Channel 9 saying that Andy isn't as good as Hamish as a presenter, but is more popular. Yeah, I just can't, Michael. I don't even understand how this is. A fair question from Jimmy. It's a shame that Tom Gleisner from Have You Been Paying Attention isn't nominated, or Sam for either of these categories. And that's fair. And I would have said that Sam deserves to be up for at least most popular presenter for his performance in hosting the Logies last year alone. But yes, he could have been and should have been. Yeah. Let's move on to one where you're all going to go, but I don't know who any of these people are. Suck it up, kids. The Graham Kennedy Award for Most Popular New Talent has 6 people who are all involved in, honestly, some pretty amazing TV in this last year. And we do get one home and away nomination. So I get to swallow a little bit of, sour grapes there. Alia Brown from The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart, who is fucking excellent. That whole series is fucking excellent. Ava Karopoulos from Bay of Fires. I apologize if I've said your name wrong, Ava. Felix Cameron from Boy Swallows Universe, who was also excellent. That was on Netflix. Imi Delba from Bay of Fires, also very good. Lee Tiger Halley from Boy Swallows Universe, also from Netflix. Again, also great. And Tristan Gorry, Home and Away on 7. They're our most popular new talent. Now, we have seen in the past this be an actual opportunity that helps people reveal that they are out there doing their thing. And it offers opportunity for them, as much the industry getting to see them and knowing they're doing their work, as much as all of us going, yeah, I like them in that thing. And I'm going to say, frankly, for some, if as popular voting, we only get to vote in 3. This is one of them. I'm really split, because I really liked Felix Cameron in Boy Swallows Universe, and I really liked Alia Brown in The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart. I mean, I can't vote twice. Well, I can if I use 2 different email addresses. Spoilers. But yeah, like that's going to be tough, I reckon. But a good one, and a good sign that, have a look at it. Most popular new talent, none of them presenters. Fuck me sideways. They're all actors. About fucking time. Anyway, we can vote on the Graham Kennedy Award. Get out there and do it. I mean, vote how you want to vote. I would say that you've got really a couple of options there, but not too many. But they're all good. They're all good. Well done, everyone. You all deserve our applause, and you'll get it on Sunday, the 18th of August. There is stuff popping up everywhere. Clint asks, how does Sigourney Weaver get a Logie nomination? Does she know what a Logie is? She probably doesn't, but she will know by now, Clint. How does she get one? Because The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart is fucking great, and it was on Prime Video and an Australian production. Ergo, Sigourney Weaver gets nominated for a Logie. And it will be good, Michael, to see Sam Pang as host. It will be the difficult second album, but I think he will more than knock it out of the park. Let's talk about the next category that I wanted to hit you up on. This is the best drama, close to my heart, friends, as you would well know. The nominees are Love Me from Binge, NCIS Sydney from Paramount Plus. This is Paramount Plus's one nominee. No. I mean, I want to encourage the cast, but no. RFDS 7 Network, that was season 2 last year that got them nominated. The Newsreader from the ABC, stunning. That finishes now 2025. The Tourist from Stan, and Total Control from the ABC. Now, dear sweet friends, I'm going to say to you that of those 6, again, this is a really difficult choice, because I'm going to give you, maybe aside from NCIS Sydney, but I will let them stay in there, this could go one of 5 ways, like really easily. The Newsreader is stunning. Such a great job from our 2 core casts, but certainly from Michael, who's writing it, and from the team there that are involved in making it. I cannot wait to see season 3, I think it's 3, the final season that's now been pushed into 2025. Definitely tippity top on my list there. But right next to it is, it finished up Total Control. Phenomenal drama. Deborah Messing. Wow. Deborah Malman's performance next to Rachel Griffiths. 2 absolute powerhouses. And again, friends, just have a look at that. 2 ABC dramas. Absolutely killing it. Love Me was stunning. The difficult second album for them was really, really great. That's on Binge. and that's worth going and checking out. 2 great seasons there. RFDS, I really loved it. I'm glad they brought it back. It's also been pushed into 2025, friends, for season 3. But RFDS, good, solid Aussie drama, showing everything what it needs to be. The Tourist was a bit of a surprise for me. I didn't think I would like it, and I really liked it on Stan. And if I got it right, I think there's another season of it. I may have confused it with something else. There's another season of The Tourist that is coming or is out, and you should check it out. But certainly season 1 was a ripper, absolute ripper. A wealth of riches, but have a look at where all of that is landing. 2 on the ABC, 1 on 7, 1 on Stan, and 1 on Paramount Plus, and 1 on Binge. Like Channel 9, Channel 10. I mean, I know 10 will claim NCIS Sydney. They really can't, but they can. Where is the rest of you guys? Come on. There actually should be an SBS drama in that, but we'll get to that because they actually take a bit of a landslide in the miniseries telemovie category. I think that's great and a great reflection of where the Australian industry is. I've talked too long already, so I need to push on, guys. I'm sorry. Let's go to the next category, which is Best Miniseries or Telemovie. The nominees are Boy Swallows Universe from Netflix. That's up there for me to vote. Erotic Stories, SBS. I quite liked it. Well done, Marique Hardy and the team. Safe Home. Holy shit, yes, from SBS. This is mandatory television for mine, friends. The Claremont Murders on 7. The Clearing on Disney Plus. And The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart on Prime Video. And if it does not win, if The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart does not win this category, then fuck me sideways. That's 2 in one night. I'm sorry about that. It's incredibly well told, a phenomenal drama. I think I raved about it in one of the TV Black Box episodes going back. I probably should throw it in my list for a thumbs up, thumbs down, up mulk, down mulk situation, just to get the time to rave about how good it is. Spoilers, you'll know what's coming. But I would say Boy Swallows Universe is also fair. I would give you that Safe Home is gripping. It's just so compelling. So it's a 3-way split now. How do you vote for that? Just get 3 separate emails, friends. But look, of that, it's good, it's tough. Boy Swallows Universe, Safe Home, or Lost Flowers of Alice Hart. That's who I think you should lean into, certainly for mine, if you're going to take it on. But yeah, they are the best miniseries or telemovie nominees. The last category I wanted to talk about tonight is the best scripted comedy program, another one that is close to my heart. And I'm going to offer that this is a 2-horse race. Everything in this list is good, but there are 2 that should win it. And if one of them doesn't win, then look, I'm going to storm the ramparts. I'm going to do something. The nominees are In Limbo, ABC, Mother and Son, ABC, Population 11, Stan, Strife on Binge. Now, those 4, I think, are all worthy to be in this category. Well done to everybody that was involved in them, creative, the performers, the people behind the scenes. You all did real fucking good. Real good. But the 2 that I think that this is just going to be a bee's dick between, Utopia on ABC and Deadlock on Prime Video. The Kate's absolutely killer comedy mystery series that was on Prime Video. I just cannot separate them. Like, honestly, it is down to millimeters as to how you would try and pick which one that's going to be. And every time I go this one, the other one flops up and goes, all right, that's going to be a thing. And I just can't. I just can't. It's good, but I just can't. So make your choices on that, friends. Like, I enjoyed Strife. I thought that Mother and Son was good. Not everybody raved. I thought it was quite good. In Limbo was excellent. Population 11 was bloody funny. Well done to Phil Lloyd and the team for that. It's so really, really funny, good stuff. But Utopia and Deadlock, brilliant. And consequently, Deadlock and Utopia have both got nominees play out in the best category for actors in comedic and as supporting actors in comedic series, as they rightly should. In fact, I can tell you that Rob Sitch, for the second time in his career, has been nominated for a Logie. He's nominated for Best Lead Actor in a Comedy for Utopia. And geez, I'd love to see him win. It would be like getting McAuliffe to win, because you just know that their speeches will be excellent and they'll be super humble and they fucking deserve it. In fact, that'll be the trade-off for mine. If Utopia doesn't win this, then Rob needs to win Best Lead Actor in a Comedy. And if Deadlock don't win this, then every one of the people that are nominated for Deadlock need to win. That's the only way that will stop me from absolutely just punching out a random celebrity. Nonetheless. Friends, that's just 6 of many, many categories. And interesting to note, because they've taken away a whole bunch of the most popular, it should, in theory, make the Logies a whole lot slimmer, a whole lot easier to run tonight. But, yeah, I on the night, I think it's still going to be this bloated live craziness that isn't gonna make it there. We'll see. It'll be fun. We'll all join in. Like I said, they're my ones that I wanted to bring to the attention of all of you. What do you think? Who are you going to vote for? Throw it in the comments, whether you're watching live or you're watching afterwards. We'd love to, would love to hear who you think should get the gig or get the Guernseys or get the gold. What a debacle. Welcome to everything that is Australian TV, friends. The Sunday, the 18th of August, will be the Logies. At this point, I am hoping above hopes to be on the red carpet, doing what I did last year for TV Black Box. I had so much fun. It was so great. And I hope to do that again with my mate AJ producing and, of course, the incredible TV Black Box team, including Rob and Abby behind the scenes, helping cut up and slice and dice, because we can't just stream it live. We have to do that. I just can't even. I really wish we could. It's not. It's politics. Everything is politics. Friends, that is the TV Binge Box for this week. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for playing along at home. For those that joined us live, join me next week for the second last episode of this season. The TV Binge Box only has 2 more to go this year, or at least this season, because it's uni break, and I need to get my head back in the game ready for uni when it starts in a couple of weeks' time. Thank you for being a part of this. Dive in. Let us know what you thought of our 3 shows from tonight. Dancing for the Devil, In the Know, and Jim Henson Idea Man. You already know what I think. I'd love to know what you think. Thanks so much for playing along. Join us next week, 8 o'clock on Tuesday nights, of course. Linktree, linktr.ee/Steve Mock for all of the social links. tvblackbox.com.au for where you need to get everything that you want to know about what's happening in the Australian TV industry. We're still pumping that out. Kevin, Rob, and I are working real hard, along with Kyle, along with a whole bunch of other people, to make it be, let's call it a success. Let's say that that's what it is. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for putting up with my rambling and ranting. Let's get into it. Go and watch drama, friends. Go and watch one of those nominees for drama or comedy. If you haven't, just do it. Report back. Tell me what you think. Mulk out.